Okay, there we go. N9CXK. Very good. N9CXK, 2 meters AM. Okay, we'll give this a shot. N9CXK, November 9, Charlie, X-ray, Kilo. Yeah, I heard that. CXK. Good to hear you.
Check the space weather. It's off the hook. NIFSE.
Even Lindsay Slater was showing space weather charts on TV tonight. It was great.
You know how to know that there's cloudy skies without looking outside, right? Well, I'll tell you, it's because the K index is 8, and we're having a G4 geomagnetic storm. KC9UDX.
Yeah, that's for sure. Every time I've gone out.
Yeah, and we know there isn't a meteor shower, so there must be northern lights.
That high now, though, I don't think. And tonight, my app said there was probably no chance of seeing anything by us.
I got an email warning saying the K index was 8 or greater. Now, I don't know how current that is, and I deleted the email, but it was just a few minutes ago when I got it. And I don't think that's a prediction. I think that's a current value, but I'm not positive. And I'd be willing to bet we'd see something if there wasn't complete cloud cover.
Check Twitter quick here when I get off this other screen.
Well, the government website says we are at the K index of 3.
Pictures from a half hour ago in Colorado. Bright red skies. That's fairly intense.
Yeah, and at that rate we would surely see something here. I pulled up the deleted email. It says alert geomagnetic K index of 8,9. Threshold reached November 12th, 1:21 UTC. So that I don't know what to make of that. I got that, and then the actual website says K index of 3, and it doesn't show it ever going any higher than that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I see half hour ago it says index of 8. Then I saw an index of 6 about 10 minutes ago. I didn't look at my app yet. That should be pretty accurate.
Alright, well I'm going to get ready to start here. KC9UDX.
Yep, my app says KP index of 8. But due to high activity, keep an eye on the sky. It says there's only a 9% chance of seeing it. They must take into account the clouds.
Well, in that case around here, it's always 0%.
All right, Matt, take over. N9CXK.
One more minute, KC9UDX. Good evening. This is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation, and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kCs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now.
KC9UDX, N9 Charlie, X-Ray Kilo, N9CXK, Carol in East Troy. Sounding good, man.
All right. Recognizing Carol, N9CXK. Do we have a Steve, N9FSE?
How about Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa?
All right, glad to take that one. Recognizing WB9BWP, Dave. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. Maybe Steve will be back. So I guess the thing everybody's talking about is the solar storm. And I am looking at the website, spaceweather.gov, and it does not show the planetary K-index ever going above 4, and that was 3 hours ago. But that's estimated planetary K-index, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't remember where to look up the current value. But here it is, it's happening. And of course, like we've been saying, we have complete cloud cover. Now, I doubt that it's related, but it was kind of a coincidence. My internet connection went out just about a half hour ago, just in time for me to start getting ready for the net. So I had to reboot the old cable modem and make sure everything else here was working. Had to restart the streaming software because connection was lost. It was streaming to somewhere not useful anymore. And I don't know what happened here. There are some noise bars on the video, and that only happens when the PC is plugged in and the VIC-20 is plugged in to the video. And that's a little odd to me, so I don't know, one of those power supplies may be dying. The power supply on the VIC-20 is one of these brand new Commodore 64 ones. It's got the light up front that says C64. I don't remember where I got that or what. I should have another one here. I suppose I could swap them to prove if that's what's causing it. But the other odd thing is that the video on YouTube is extremely blurry. And that's just not the case here. I'm looking at the monitor that is the same source as everything else here, and it is crystal clear. When I was looking at the computer that's doing the actual streaming, it's crystal clear. But if I look on YouTube, it's all blurred out. Can't see anything useful, which like I say, I'm not sure what's going on there. That's as far as I know, something new. I guess I probably didn't look at the video last month to know, but that's what we've got now. And otherwise, I don't have too much else to report. I am still working on a vehicle. Been doing a lot of body work. I hate doing body work. Got a windshield frame that I have bondoed up. Needs to be sanded down, primed. Then I have to apply a primer for the windshield sealant and put the windshield sealant on, put the gaskets on, and put the windshield on. I'm not looking forward to that at all. I hate doing that kind of work. I don't like doing body work. I don't like working with sealants or glues or anything like that, but it's got to get done, and it's just taken forever. I should have had this done months ago. Otherwise, we'll go to the top of the list. Very short list here so far. Carol N9CXK, take it away from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX. And the net, N9CXK. Okay, Matt, I've been reviewing my app here. The app is right up to date. It shows the auroral area coming right down to my location. It's green by me, but it's bright red for most of Canada. So I think that the KP of 8 is probably correct. I looked at the cloud cover map too, and it shows that it's all clear to the west and the northwest of me. And it looks like I shouldn't really have hardly any clouds here at all. So I'm going to go back out and look in a little bit. So I might be having good luck here. But yeah, I can see the clouds, and there's just a wisp of clouds kind of over me, and it's clear to the north, northwest, west, and south of me. So cross my fingers. Let's see what else is going on. Over the last couple days, I pulled all my antenna cables out of the radio desk. Disconnected every antenna from every radio, pulled them all back, and I got a wall plate over all the cables, slid it up to the wall where the hole through the wall is, stuffed that all with fiberglass. There was some bubble wrap in there too. I didn't pull that out, I left it in there and stuck all the fiberglass in there and got the wall plate on. Well, it looks pretty darn good. There's about 10 antenna cables coming in, but they're all tightly packed in there now. And then I have to get online and get some beige or white colored wire loom to go around those cables. And that'll look pretty good. If I get that wire loom on there, there won't be these black cables hanging out of the wall, hanging down behind the desk. I think it's going to be able to do that so that my wife isn't quite as upset about it. But that'll look good. That'll look good. And I did take and I shortened up about five cables in the shack here. I probably took 50 feet of cable out of the shack, shortened all those antenna cables up, and terminated them all. That's pretty simple, and yeah, it's looking real good. Looking real good. Now most of those cables now are also ready for when I get the grounding panel into the box outside the house. Not going to happen this year, but next summer I'll do that right away in the spring. And my main concern was that I can't seal it completely, and the air from the house goes out into the box outside and condenses because it's generally cooler out there. And everything in that box was soaking, dripping wet. I didn't want to have all my nice lightning arresters and protectors out there in the box just being soaking wet all the time. I think I may need to buy 2 or 3 of the little screens and the plugs that I can drill holes in the box out there and put those screens in there to allow ventilation. Maybe that's all I really needed. The box is pretty tight. I'll get about doing that. I might even do that this fall. I think I could probably get to the hardware store and find some of those little plugs. That would be good. That would be good. That would tell me right there if that's all I really needed to do. And I don't know what else is going on here. I can't walk out on the dock tonight to look at the northern lights because they came and picked up both my docks and put everything on the shore tonight, this afternoon. So I can't do that. Yeah, I timed out. That's okay. I rarely get a chance to do that. It's a good test. I'll be looking to the north from a little further down my shoreline here where I can get a good view of the north. But really I can look to the north over about a quarter mile of lake and then fairly low terrain after that. So I think I'll have a good chance seeing something. But I'm very excited about having all these antenna cables sorted out and organized and labeled, and pretty cool. Pretty cool. And the 160 meter off center fed is doing well. It's after I did some rearranging of the wire outside. I must have changed something or bumped something, and now it's tuned up right around a little under 1.9 megs. And at 75 meters, it's a little low, but that's okay. The tuner takes care of it. So it's also a worker, 265 feet long. I'm pretty excited. It's in a U-shaped configuration, but that's about the best I can do here. And Steve, we're waiting for you because we heard you before. N9CXK, over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. And very good on the cables and cleaning everything up. I have cables all over the place here. I have ideas about how I can clean this place up a lot better, but I don't know when I'll ever get to do that. Too many other things to do. And I hope you're right about adding vent holes to that box. I suppose, the box will probably take on enough of the heat from the house so that you're not, I don't know. You'll see. You'll find out. I just have a pipe going through the wall, and there's a rag shoved in there. If it rains just right, the rain comes in there, which is a problem. Someday I'd like to clean that up. 50 feet removed. That's quite a bit. That part I have kind of wrapped up here. Everything's as short as it can be. In fact, some of them are a little bit too short. Part of the problem with that, though, is I have a patch panel that I made for all of the antenna connections, and that's up higher than I wanted it to be. But that's because before I had a chance to mount it, I acquired more radios, so that's the story with that. But yeah, it's too bad they took your docks just today. That would have been nice. I did see the forecast said it was supposed to clear up. So maybe when I'm done here, I'll go out and look. I won't have much time, though, because I pretty much have to get to bed right away. What else was I going to say here? Oh, you probably have pretty good skies to the north. I don't. Northeast, I have very bright city lights. Makes it tough. But with a storm of this caliber, it should be visible anyway here, I would think. But I haven't looked at the data recently. Maybe it's subsiding. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. And I didn't read the whole story. But I suspect there's more than one coronal mass ejection. I suppose I should just read it and find out. Anyway, next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP, from KC9UDX.
Okay, well, before I babble on here, Dale checked in. He was kind of doubled with you. It's in right after me. I don't know if he's still out there. You want to give him a call?
Sure thing. AB9DW. AB9DW, are you still there? Dale from KC9UDX. Well, I don't hear him, but that doesn't mean he's not there. I'll turn it back to you, Dave. What was I going to say? Oh, the noise floor seems a little bit higher tonight. Maybe that would prevent me from hearing him. But go ahead, Dave. KC9UDX.
I didn't hear him either, so maybe he went away and said, forget it. He came in pretty good here, but he's not too far away from me. But he seems louder than maybe I've heard him in the past. Anyway, needing up some cables and stuff. Yeah, not here. Well, I've been having to do some unplanned antenna work that popped up in, I'll say, the last month, but well, some of it couldn't even be worked on anyhow because I need to shoot some new lines through a tree. And it's hard to do with all the leaves there. So I've been trying to flip in stuff wherever I can here, time-wise. My verticals started acting crazy. Don't know why. So I just took it down, cleaned things up, reset everything to the original factory dimensions, and go from there, which is not a quick process. So that's probably about a third of the way done, maybe a quarter. I don't know. We've got to get the layer fixed up. I'm changing the way it's going to run. A year ago, 2 years ago, this is my off-center fed wire. I changed the feed point location in the tree, got it much higher, and it had to move over a little bit from where it used to be, which meant the short end of it sort of bent around the tree a little bit to make it to the mast that was holding that end up. And, well, the tree hasn't really appreciated that, so it's worked on chewing that up twice now. So I'm rerouting it to go to a different port. And it should be okay now. It doesn't have to bend around any tricky tree chunks or anything like that. But like I say, it can't really be done until you can see where we're shooting. Stand by just a moment. So that's radio-wise, I guess that's taken up most of my time here. Other than the Friday night net, haven't really done anything on HF in a few weeks. Missed a couple of contests even. ARL sweepstakes is this weekend. I was going to give that a try because my directional antenna for 10, 15, and 20 is fine. But now the weekend looks like a fairly decent weather days. So I may have to forego the contest to get all the other stuff taken care of out there. Club meeting Saturday also. And the ERL is doing a thing next year. They're calling it Year of the Club. And they're asking clubs to take group pictures. And MRIC is going to do that Saturday. But I'm not going to be there. But that's okay. But I have just yesterday, in digging through some of the remaining stuff that I've got to look over and digitize for the club, there's the one famous group picture from 1920. Everybody in a suit on some stairs in an office building downtown. And didn't know anyone in that picture. But I found a sheet of paper that identified about 3/4 of the people in that picture. So I'm working on getting that captioned up. And I'll send that over to Ted. He can send that in. Let's see how many other people send in pictures from 1920. Anyway, I'll send it back to them. This is WB9BWT.
All right, thank you, Dave. And I could guesstimate how many other people send in pictures from 1920 at 0. That's pretty good. That's pretty amazing that you found that. And well, I guess I'll have to call Dale here again in a little while. But fine business on everything else. Yeah, the weather's supposed to be warm this weekend. Not that they really know. Every weekend it seems to rain. It would be nice to get my HF antenna back up, piece that together somehow, but I don't think that's going to happen. Doesn't matter. Whenever the antenna is up, I never get time to turn the radio on. And the club meeting Saturday, it sure would be nice to go, but I don't see that happening. I have way too much work here. Way too many things that have to be done before winter, and winter's already here. Unfortunately. It's been most of this year I haven't made it to a meeting, which is not good. But we are at the bottom of the list again. Shouldn't say again, this is the first time. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, I got you that time, Dale, recognizing AB9DW. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please. Well, hearing none, I'll go right to you, Dale. AB9DW, go ahead and take it away from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX, AB9DW. Well,
All right, thank you, Dale. I stupidly didn't switch over the meter, so I can't tell you what your signal strength is. But yeah, pretty weak tonight compared to recent other times here, but still a very good copy. And I'll tell you, I solved that microphone and radio problem very, very easily. I put these 5/16 diameter jacks on all my radios, and they all work with the astatic D104. So I have one microphone that plugs into all the different radios individually. None of them operate at the same time. Which reminds me, I still need to get a backup microphone. If this one ever stops working, I'm in trouble. I sold all the other ones I had, all the other working ones I had, and I've got to, one of these days, get another one. But I'll tell you what, that's fine business on the remote control. That's a very interesting time we live in where you can do something like that. Who would have ever thought you'd be operating your home station from somewhere far away? I don't see myself ever doing that, but it's interesting nonetheless. And we are still at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins come now, please.
November 9, Foxtrot Sierra Echo.
All right, now we got you, Steve. 9FSC. Welcome to the net. And I've got to correct myself here. I don't know why I did that. I wrote down N9FSE, and then while you said the E, I changed the F to an E. So I got to change it back from N9ESE to N9FSE. Anyway, I'll send it right to you, Steve, from KC9UDX.
Thank you, Matt. And half copying along here. I got our guest that we had last time. We have an I-9E at the station yet again. Helped us on mouse duty, so that's been good stuff. Real good stuff. Got great signals from everyone out here tonight. 30 over from you, Matt. 20 over from Carol. 30 over from Dave, and even a good solid S8 with almost could hear him with the preamp on, but that's taking a lot out of the sales there. S8 on Dale, so that's great stuff. And was catching up with stuff here with the NI9E Jeff here, so that's why we had all that going. We got the solar storm is the first thing I wrote on the thing here. I got everybody out looking. I looked 2-3 hours ago, and the conditions were more favorable. We no longer have a southward deflection. The solar wind speed has dropped off to almost a normal level, a nominal level, and it was cranking before. The BZ number is what they look for, the southward deflection for Aurora, and that was big time 2 hours ago, and it's almost it's a positive, which is a northward orientation now, which isn't conducive to Aurora. And there's at least 2 big CMEs in the last 2 days, I should say. And the impacts, we just started to feel, I guess they're expecting another big impact during the day tomorrow. So they're figuring the best time will actually be early tomorrow evening, based on what I was reading so far on that. So it's rather remarkable. See if I got any other topics on there. The old solar wind watch. Oh yeah, there was also currently there's still if that's under effect, a polar cap absorption event. So anything 30 megahertz is going to be no good on the caps. So and it gets worse the further north you go, apparently as well. So maybe a fair time yet. Still, maybe still a good attempt to use what's there, and maybe pointing north of the beams may work considerably well for the next day or so. Who knows? So something to watch. It's quite the big event, and I haven't seen more color on the Solar AM webpage than ever. I mean, it's pretty remarkable and neat to run the movies and all that they have going there. Yeah. Lots of purples and big warning red boxes about the event. So, been other than that fun, we've been getting ready for ski season at the ski hills. Even when I got to take the week off, like last weekend, I was planning on stuff, and the other thing we did last weekend was the Waukesha area at the RSCT, and that was a fairly well-attended event by people outside of our county. We had participants from several surrounding counties, including people even running remote out at Waukesha County at Upper Lake Park and a couple of Mars stations in Ohio and the UP. So for a two-county effort, we sure know how to swing big, I guess, and make things happen there. So I haven't bored everyone else to death. Just mention that my HF antenna is still up so far, and I still should fire another wire for my spare Ballon box, unfed box to feed that yet too, but no big rush on that. And my good friend Scott Dolly, N9SD, was also busy at our SCT. Go back to that real briefly. He's the one that got our stations out of state and did HF all the way to Ozaki, so he was doing good with WinLink and voice on 40 meters. Maybe if I get an opportunity, I'll have to swing through sweepstakes like Dave advised. So let's send it back to net control. And this is N9FSE at the big stick. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. And let's see if Jeff wants to check in. And I9E from KC9UDX.
K9UDX and I9E. Sure, I'll check in. One more for the count on this cold Tuesday night. Yeah, we'll be wishing. I can see why people move south for the winter. Getting older and yeah, it's not as fun as it used to be when Steve and I were young. Yeah, but anywho, spent most of the day today chopping and splitting and stacking wood up at my brother's house in Oak Creek. He had about a 70-foot sugar maple taken down and had to clean the front yard up. And this is going on 3 weeks, but I just can't haul those 100-plus pound logs around like I used to. So I have to go and have a soak when I get home and attend to the sore muscles, and hopefully I'll be able to get out of bed in the morning. Back to that, NI90.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Fine business. And by the way, welcome to the net. I guess I can't even imagine doing that stuff anymore. I mean, if I had to do it, I would. But I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be expecting to be able to move in the morning. I'd have a real hard time with that. But I am very out of shape. And we are at the bottom of the list again. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. I am trying to decipher all of this information on the Space Weather Prediction Center website. And it looks like things are slowing down here. But we are still at a G4 storm level. And not sure what else to make out of that. They're predicting G3 at doesn't say. Oh, that's for tomorrow. And G1 the following day. No other useful information I can see here at the moment. Anyway, the weather website says that it's complete cloud cover yet here. I have no way to look outside, but I'll take their word for it. And probably nothing to see anymore anyway. But we'll go back to the top of the list. Excuse me. Carol N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net N9CXK. Well, good. I just refreshed my app here. It says I have a K of 8.33. And the maps have not changed too much. Basically, all of Canada is bright red as far as Aurora zone. That green section, which indicates we would see the Aurora just holding off just to the north of my house, it looks like. So it's probably north of some of us. But the cloud cover map shows that it's clear here. But I was outside while y'all were talking. And it is cloudy here. The clouds are higher than they were before. I'm hoping they're drifting away. But it was cloudy enough that I couldn't see any stars or anything. So, gotta wait. I mean, ordinarily our aurora is better later at night, but I know we have to plan that along with the arrival of the CMEs. There were, three CMEs coming. I think the largest one is coming tomorrow, but it'll be daytime. But they figure tomorrow would be even better for viewing the aurora if we're lucky. But I'm still transmitting because I guess I don't know what's happening. As far as it being cold, I don't know. I think it was colder most of the day. It is 40. Well, it was 41 here. And now it is 42 here. It's going up a little bit. They said the winds would change to the northwest, but even though that would ordinarily be cold, it's going to be bringing in quite warm air from the west. So I anticipate that will help us warm up starting tomorrow. Looks like a good rest of the week as far as temperature. Good right through the weekend, and then Monday, our temperature will drop away. Well, I'm probably going to time out here, but I can't help it. But the temperature's only going to down to the middle 40s after being 50 and 60 on the weekend. That'll be just fine. And if anybody wants to come and rake leaves, you need a lot of practice here. I got some beautiful maples now. About 2/3 of them are on the ground, and it's ankle deep almost everywhere in my yard. But I got guys coming to do it at some point here. I have my mulcher and my grinder and all that stuff, but there's just so much here. I hesitate to get started myself. I'll do some of the main areas and try to keep it all away from the door. They were all piled up against the door about 8 inches high. Clean that up a little bit. So, there. Not too exciting. Very pleased with my progress on the antenna things here. And my amplifier seems to be working nice. It's not getting too hot. It's getting warm, so it's supposed to be putting out something. 10 watts in, that should be giving me 100 and some watts out anyway. N9CXK, over.
Alright, thank you, Carol. Sounds like you have more leaves there than we ever get here. Never get that many. But it's hard to tell because my wife is very, very good at cleaning that stuff up, so I never get to see too much. And yeah, the bigger CME is supposed to arrive tomorrow. I didn't see what time. Of course, it's daytime is still dark here, kind of early. But it'll probably happen during full daylight, I suppose. And with that, we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Well, it's good that Dale stuck around here and got in. Yeah, even though he's close, he's really moving in here today. I've heard him much weaker in the past. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Steve mentioning his check for mice out there at the site. A couple of weeks ago, we had our yearly tune-up for our whole house generator here, and it's been working fine. But when the guy opened it up, he found a number, first time ever, a number of dead and a couple of live mice inside. Instead of his usual hour and a half or whatever, he was here like half a day cleaning that thing out. And so we started putting traps out again. We didn't have any out this year. Caught a couple of mice and I think a couple of chipmunks too. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, and also for Steve, I saw a couple of times this week on the news, they made a big point of talking about the snow machines fired up out at Little Switzerland. And then today he said, well, maybe they were just testing. But anyway, they're always looking for something that just, make everything much more a bigger thing than it really is. Like watching the national news, of course they ignore what's going on here, but they're talking about the snow and the cold hitting out east, and they make it sound like the world's coming to an end. Anyway, boy, I don't know. I get it. They're doing more stuff here. I've got more things to talk about. Well, maybe I'll get the antennas done one of these days. I will. What else is there? On the more disgusting front, one of the reasons why I will lose a couple of days, if possible, working on stuff this week is possibly, hopefully, the last time that I have to have anal probing done. I'm doing that on Friday. I'm not supposed to eat anything all day Thursday. So, anyway, that wipes out a couple of days. Because I'm sure when I get home from that, that was the radio, I'll just be sleeping for the rest of the day. And I've told this story, I'll throw this in there, I've told this story before on a couple of them. My general purpose type doctor, he retired a year or so ago. But he wasn't always really with it, because I always have smart aleck comments for things. And after the last time that they were looking up that size, and I said, hey, did you get a report on my anal probing? He said, was it done by a doctor? That was one day that he was quite with it. On that note, I'll send it back to that. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Well, hopefully that all goes okay. I can't even imagine. And as far as the mice, I guess I should put up some more traps in here, now it's getting cold out. Some years we don't get any, some years we get a lot. I don't understand it. I suppose it depends on what kind of animals are outside. And I've got one vehicle that I did not uncover this year. I kind of wish I would have done that, because there's probably mice getting in there, and that's a really bad thing. The one that I'm driving most of the time now had mice in the wiring, which is a problem. I've got a short now in the gauge lighting. Intermittent. Can't find it. Every time I go to find it, it won't happen. Every time I need the lights, the fuse blows. So actually I thought about seeing if I could find a self-resetting circuit breaker small enough for that circuit. Put it in there. Deal with it that way. Otherwise I'm never going to find it without tearing everything apart, and I really don't want to do that. But anyway, I'm changing the subject here, and I don't really want to do that. So next we'll go to Dale, AB9DW, from KC9UDX. Alright, thank you, Dale. I probably should have just made this the 7-3 round, but we'll get there. Very soon, I suspect. And, well, you got 2 mice already. Maybe I'm having a good year then, because I haven't seen any yet. I have not noticed what kind of other animals are out there yet. Have seen an awful lot of deer this year. Fortunately, haven't hit any. Had a couple of very close calls the one day. 3 different deer on my way to work on one day tried to unalive themselves in front of my vehicle. Very, very close calls. Never had that happen before. Not 3 in one drive. But next we'll go to Steve N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Thanks again, Matt. And yeah, it's pretty good on all the mouse talk out here at our ski hill. We keep I don't know, it's probably a couple quart pail of mouse poison. That's what our president likes using, and he usually marks a few places and he drops it off and tells everybody don't let your critters your dogs in the buildings because that stuff's out. And sure enough, we had a few dead ones, and I think we don't have much of a problem right now. I had some members leave some food over a week, and they didn't get into none of that, so I don't think we have too many resident mice. So that's pretty nice. In the meantime, and there was one old one. It was a month and a half ago. There was a dead one getting ready to be just skinning, just skeletons, and then one that was recently got into the poison and was expiring almost as I was there. And both of them I bagged up and got off the property so that they wouldn't get eaten by other predators and have them have issues, because we need in the normal times when the poison to get out, we can use them predators to keep them in check. And we always got the possums around too, and that's good for keeping the ticks in check. And then sometimes the woodchucks, they like burrowing holes all over. Got one by the women's restroom. We got to get filled in there. I got a snow fence stake so nobody falls into that and twists an ankle or something dumb. And very good on the snow guns at Switz. We've been watching that with the rest of the ski people just going crazy. And yeah, the majority of the test fires will melt, but if they don't push it out, sometimes they call it a snow whale. Sometimes those whales can stick around and be useful, and they even put a little chill in the ground in the area that is for future use. So it's going to be a warm spell, but it's starting. We're losing so much daylight already. It's not going to get cooked too much too often, especially in November. You got lots of clouds always. So, I guess the go dates they're hoping for right after Thanksgiving to get things up and running. See how all that works out for them or not. My private area, we just wait for the snow from the sky, so we never know when exactly we're gonna get underway. But lots of preparations otherwise. Maybe I can make it to the club meeting on Saturday, and we got a board meeting and a hill preparation day out at the ski hill at Fox Hill on Sunday. So it doesn't interfere, and we'll see how far I can get with my other projects. I got a work box, so a single gang outlet box, a shallow one to mount under my radio cabinet. I got a push button there for firing the radio off to call for patrol assistance, and it's going to be the first one of several I may end up having to put in there. I got one staged at Switz. And I'm also working on procedures to make the procedures and how they alert to be similar for those patrollers that go between the different areas, such as me and a few others. So lots going on all over. And I was just talking with Jeff here, telling him I got a little technology fixed up. I've had a laser printer. I've had other ones working for a while, but for last year and a half or two, I haven't had any printer working. But I bought a nice laser printer, a nice Canon a few years back. I never happy trying to get it to work, and finally got it hooked into the Wi-Fi and talking to the computer, and printed some stuff up in time for our SET. So at least I call that a technology success, and see what else I can square away here before long. So with that, I'll send her back to you, Matt, and happy to have everyone out here and all the fine talk of contest, antennas in the sky, cocks out, cars, fun with mice on everyone's front, and so on. So back to that. This is a 9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. I guess I'd like to say I'm looking forward to the cross-country skiing season. But until I get things squared away here, I won't have time to do that anymore either. Excuse me. I think I've used my trail passes exactly one time this year. That's a very bad thing. Anyway, next we'll go to Jeff NI9E from KC9UDX.
Okay, Matt, thanks. NI9E here. Yeah, we had one mouse casualty here tonight. I returned. Yeah, I don't like poison. I like snap traps, because then you know for sure. My brother's got a 70 Chevelle Classic car, that's his baby, and he lives in Oak Creek, and he hates this time of the year because, like you say, as it gets colder, they're looking to go somewhere warm, and we're just hoping that they don't make home up underneath the dash of the car or in the engine bay or other places where come springtime to start the car you end up with a short, something smokes, or it's just dead because they chewed through the wire. So, yeah, they're cute and furry, but they're just not good for daily life. I live actually in Greendale, almost at the base of Crystal Ridge, and waiting any day now to hear the whir of the snow guns off in the distance. It kind of lulls me to sleep at night. Did I ever go skiing? I think I went cross-country skiing when we were back in college for a class, but I can't do that anymore. If I'm afraid to fall and I break a hip, and that'd be the end of me. Yeah, and what was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh, to the station that was having problems with anal probing or something like that. Oh, Dave, you perked up a nurse's ears. It sounded hospital-related, so I hope things work out well, or how you want them to work out for you, but yeah, I guess once a nurse, always a nurse, but anything else? Tomorrow it's supposed to be a little bit warmer. If I can only have 2 coats on, I'll be putting the backpack blower and taking care of all the leaves that blew back on the yard from my pile I had in the street. And I got a text message from my neighbor Mary on Sunday wondering when I'm going to come over in her yard and dig my oak leaves out of her flower beds because she's sick of getting them out. Every year, I haven't figured out a good reply for it yet, but back to that, N-I-9-E.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I don't like the mouse poison either. I don't like that at all. I guess it wouldn't bother me if it only affected the mice, but once, some other animal eats the mouse, or who knows, I just don't like having that stuff around at all. I'd much rather use a regular mouse trap. And my favorite bait is spray cheese. The only thing that works better is peanut butter, but the spray cheese sure is convenient. It's not just the wiring in the cars that the mice get at. They tunnel through the seats and stuff. I've got one car they've just utterly ruined the driver's seat last year. I've known 2 people that have had cars burned to the ground because of mice. One had a nest built in the defroster vents, and the other one, I want to say it was in the intake, probably in the air filter. I don't exactly remember. I've been lucky in that respect, I guess. I've only had one problem where they actually caused damage, other than seats and just making a mess. The worst thing I had, though, was I had a bird get trapped in my car. I had a car that was up on blocks, and it didn't have a transmission, so there was a hole in the floor, and I put a towel over the hole thinking that the mice wouldn't get in, but somehow a bird got in anyway and couldn't get back out. But we're at the bottom of the list. Do we have any last minute check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. Alright, hearing none. I don't know why, but I am having a hard time staying awake here, probably because I didn't sleep well last night. My allergies are driving me up a wall. Keep the windows open at night, and something changed overnight. In the middle of the night, I had a pretty severe allergy attack, and then it subsided by morning, so I don't know what was in the air. But we'll go to the top of the list. We'll make this the 7-3 round, but there's no hurry. Talk as long as you like. We'll start with Carol, N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net, 2-meter AM net, N9CXK. All right, well, I don't know how to follow any of that. But, yeah, I will say the deer are everywhere. I'm just almost terrified to be driving around out here right about now, especially at night. My wife came home from Charleston last night, and they came up from O'Hare in a nice big van, got dropped off in Burlington at my sister-in-law's, and so I had to go get them, but their flight was at 4:30 at night in Charleston. But by the time they got on the plane, it was almost 9 p.m. So they got home really late. So we were driving home here at 12:30 last night, and here comes a deer shooting out of a driveway on Highway 20. I hit the brakes, and I don't know how I missed them, but I missed them. And there was another couple right around the other side of the lake here, just kind of sauntering around on the road. So I'm really attuned to that. I don't drive anywhere without my bright lights on, I'll say that. So I will say also that we've had very good luck here with the mice and things. We always had a lot of mice. Well, my old garage had tons of mice. That was really old house and really old garage. But over here, there were mice in this garage. They were up in the rafters. They were everywhere. I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. Can't believe I never got hantavirus, but I didn't. And we really haven't had hardly any evidence of mice in the garage. And then our basement here, it's a block basement, but there are 2 big crawl spaces underneath the house, and they both had openings into the basement. So the guys, when they did our remodeling, they made some beautiful half-inch plywood boards that we bolted to the wall over these crawl space openings. But there's openings at the top because you have heating pipes and wiring and stuff. So got 2 of those, and I think I'm going to try to find some kind of a pliable foam material that I can cut stuff into all those areas at the top of those plywood boards, between the plywood and the concrete block, or the plywood and the wooden joists, I guess, to fill that space, just to ward them off a little more. But we had some mice in the basement here, just a couple, and got rid of those, snapped them, and yeah, really, I snapped those up. I have poison blocks down there in the basement, and they have not touched them. They have not touched them for most of the summer, so I think I'm okay, but I just got to keep at it. Then we had a guy that comes and sweeps the upper parts of the house, the gutters, the dormers, and the downspouts, and all around, and then puts a powder on there to ward off the spiders. But he also did a little bit of work on the outside of the house to repel the rodents, and he also did something 10 feet from the perimeter of the house. He put something in the soil to ward off the ants. And that has apparently been working. It's kind of interesting, too. Check my app here. Still have an 8.33 KP, and the auroral area looks the same. The aurora line looks like it's from Madison to Milwaukee, right along I-94. So I'm well south of that. I guess Matt probably is too. Most all of us are. But I'm going to keep monitoring tonight. I'm going to be on 144.200 listening and see if anybody's working Aurora tonight. I think I'll have 6 meters on too. That was always a hot band for working Aurora. and that'll be something to keep me awake tonight. But yeah, fairly tired after getting home at 1 o'clock in the night last night. I sat up for a little while and went to bed. It was pretty late. We slept in just a bit this morning, but not too long. I still got up at 7, so it wasn't late. I'm glad to have the pier out of the water, I'll say that. I'm glad everything's out of the water now. And yeah, I have a service that comes and does a fall cleanup here, and then sometimes they'll do a spring cleanup too. I mean, I have so many leaves that, just like my old house is even worse, but this one is still pretty bad. The leaves are just piled high everywhere. I don't have the equipment to take care of all that. They bring out 3-4 guys, just work all day on the yard, blowing and sucking them up and all that. Yeah, I had mouse troubles with cars too at the old house. They got up and they got into the manifold on the top of the engine on my Chevy Celebrity and chewed up the injector wires that were inside in that manifold. But not bad enough that it didn't work. Still worked. I could see where they chewed them, so I had to use a long screwdriver with RTV silicone on it. The silicone on all those injector wires in there that I could see and that I could get at. And never had trouble after that. But yeah, we had mice that took the dog food and put the dog food, they took it into the engine of the car, put it all over the top of the exhaust manifold. Oh, so we were driving down the road cooking the dog food. Imagine what that smelled like. It smelled like the Christmas plant out in Jefferson. It's horrible. And in one of my celebrities, I had the mouse. She built a nest, spare tire well in the back of my Celebrity wagon. And then at some point she was off finding food, I guess, and I went to work. And all the babies were in the nest in my car. Well, they didn't last all day. And it took me most of a week to figure out where that was in the car. Pretty awful. So I'm not a mouse lover, I'll tell you that. I can poison them or I can snap them. Either way is good. I don't have a dog now. And my cat doesn't go in the basement. My cat doesn't go outside. So pretty good shape there. So, looking forward to a nice week. And, yeah, working the band. I thought that early this morning, 160 meters, 75 meters sounded really weird. I thought there was just all kinds of noise. The signals were funny. Guys didn't sound right. That must have been what it was on the beginning of our beginning of the solar collision. Wow, that's got to be about 6 minutes. I guess I should shut up. Everybody, have a good rest of your week. Be safe out there. Be looking for some of you guys a little later in the week. And I'm CXK. Over to you, Matt. Oh, and I wanted to say that Dale, you're louder than I've ever heard you here. You're F3 or 4 here. Nice audio. I can hear everything you're saying. And at other days, I didn't even know you were there. So it's something different. Apparently, some people see that there are lower signals tonight. I'm not seeing that. Everybody sounds really good. Really good. So I'm happy about that. Makes me feel good when everything's working. AC9UDX. N9CXK. 7-3 for now.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. We'll say 7-3 to you. And, I look, and now the Space Weather Prediction Center website graph shows that the 3-hour KP is 8.67. Now, I don't know if that's average or what that is over 3 hours. But the Aurora forecast has not changed. Sure looks like you'd be able to see something here. I don't know. But next we'll go to Dave. It's your turn on the 7-3 round, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. We'll start with 73 to everybody that's out there, be it radio or otherwise. And I guess just to continue with the mouth story, years back, my wife's sister was moved in with their dad after his wife died. And he was really into feeding the birds. He lived down in South Milwaukee. And so they had a ton of bird seed in the garage. And she would always back her car in and never really looked around it or anything. We get a call one day. Her car died while she was out somewhere. And we're like, well, did you run out of gas? She said, no, the gauge says that I have plenty of gas. Well, it turns out because of all the bird seed and things, we did find a container that had a big hole chewed into the side. Anyway, Mike got in the back of her car and chewed up a bunch of her wiring harness. We told him, don't keep that bird seed in there. Anyway, yeah, we use peanut butter on the trap. And every once in a while, the peanut butter's gone, the trap is not sprung. But hey, how did that happen? Yeah, I guess I covered everything of what little that I have here. Let me just take a look here at the calendar. 2 weeks from this weekend, CQ Worldwide CW contest. The week after that is ARL 160 meter CW. And then the weekend after that is the 10 meter contest. Take advantage of 10 meters while the sun is still acting up. A couple more years and we'll be back to nothing again. Anyway, 73 to everybody out there. Always good stopping by this net here. So, with that, once again, 73 to all, this is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Fine business. We'll say 7-3 to you. And that bird seed, that's yeah, I know exactly what that's like. That's a bad thing. But anyway, sorry, I'm falling asleep here. Next we'll go to Dale AB9DW. It's your turn on the 7-3 round. All right, thank you, Dale. And I did look this time. Excuse me. Your signal is up from normal. Normally you're like a solid 3. And right now you're like a 3.5. But the noise floor is up. That's why, like I say, I can still copy you very well, but not as well as other times recently. And next, we'll go to Steve. It's your turn on the 7-3 round. And 9 FSE from KC9UDX.
All right, Matt. Well, it's neat topics tonight, and got K0GB, my brother, on the phone, and he's sent pictures from Breckenridge where they got red aurora in the sky, and that's just very, very scenic. So very cool pictures from there, and just know it does a little better even with the camera than stuff with the town lights would be washing you out in person, I'm sure, but it's great stuff. And lots of stuff going on all around, and it was very good on our edition of Mouse Talk out here, and I was just sharing with Jeff too. At the ski hill we had a Cushman Trackster, and his family also had one, and I said, yeah, we used to have to keep the mice out of the muffler, and the one mechanic at the time when I was growing up, he threw some hose clamps, some hardware cloth on the end there, and that kept the mice from even thinking about getting into the muffler system. And I think that's some trouble that some snowmobilers have too. They got to figure out how to keep the mice out of the mufflers in the off season. So good on all that. Everything from my fun of snowmaking and snow guns and all that. So we'll see what happens here. All the areas, and man, lots of training we had happen already, and still it's just about go time for most of the areas. So looking forward to all that, and as soon as there's more snow on the ground and the areas open, you'll see more of the local areas on the local news too, I'm sure. So I'll not to tie it up big time. We'll see what Jeff has for us again here after I turn it back, and great to hear everybody out here again tonight, and hopefully it'll be not too chilly out here when we come out to play in December. So with that, we'll send it back to Nat. Everybody have a great time. Hopefully we can get a chance to get the meetings and whatnot and see everyone, or at least the people that are there. And I'll say 73 all around, and just appreciate all you do, Matt, and everybody for participating. It's just great to have this forum, and it's about the right time frame probably for this band. Hear a little traffic on 6 meters on the scanner at the shop a little bit, and of course the HFers when I get around the tuning around that. So it's always a blast to listen to AM. With that, we'll send it back to Nat. This is M9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. We'll say 7-3 to you. We'll move right on to Jeff and 9 IE. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Yeah, with the old snowmobiles, you got to worry about the mice getting into the seats and eating the foam rubber, so they just make it difficult. Anywho, glad to hear everybody tonight, and hopefully I'll make it for next month's net. When I get home, I think I'll tune around the band and just listen and see if anything sounds different with all the solar activity. I used to be into that big time back right around 2000, but then I went into full nursing mode and haven't done much other than monitor for 27 years, and now that I don't have to go to the hospital every day and work, hopefully I'll get more into the hobby and have fun with it. So everybody have a good week, and talk to you in December, like Steve says. NI90.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Glad you could be here. Say 7-3 to you. And I will say that this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag chew on this frequency after my transmission. We will meet again on the 9th of December. Until then, this is KC9UDX 73, and good night.
Did I miss the end? 9CXK. Thank you, Matt. And I just went over and checked 75 meters, and it is pretty dead.